Hi, this is Jo at Jo Willie Media. Welcome to my latest top tips video. One of the questions I was asked by one of you lovely people was about whether it is best to email or call with a pitch to journalists. The majority of journalists hate being cold called with a pitch. It's always at the wrong time, it's always with the wrong story. They're just a pain, quite frankly. In fact, a survey of journalists found that 52% felt that cold calling was their top pet PR peeve. Try saying that after a few gins. Not possible. A well-targeted call alerting to a journalist to some breaking news on their patch can obviously be hugely helpful, but most journalists do think they're really annoying and that they just come at the wrong time and they just waste time. So if you are going to insist on calling, then hopefully I've got a few tips for you today that will help you do that a bit more effectively and minimise damaging any relationship that you have with that journalist. So first of all, make sure your pitch is on target. I mentioned that in my previous videos, but it counts for calling as well. Make sure it fits their media outlets and also fits the beat that journalist covers. Make sure it's actually news for that journalist. And again, as I said just now, if you're calling with some breaking news, alerting them to a big story on their patch, then they'll be grateful for it. Number 3 is give them time to respond. You can't just send an email and then ring up 2 minutes later to check whether I've seen it or not. You've got to give me time to read it, to analyse it, to work out whether I do want to do anything with it. So give people time. Unless it's massively urgent, a few days is usually appropriate, but then not too long. You don't want to give them the chance to forget all about you. So it's just finding that fine balance. But don't send an email and then call within the next 20 minutes. It's not going to do you any favours at all. Also, just try and find out the pitching preferences of that journalist that you're wanting to deal with. But if you can't do that, then obviously just use some common sense. Hopefully these tips will help you with that common sense. And again, it's timing the call. Don't call a deadline. Work out what the deadline is for the journalist or the media outlet that you're pitching to, and don't call. For newspapers, journalists are always busy first thing in the morning when they're trying to work out what stories they're going to be putting forward for that day. And then obviously in the afternoon, and then even more busy in the late afternoon when it's deadline time. So calling then is just going to, absolutely put you in the bad books of any journalist. And it could potentially be hugely damaging for an ongoing relationship, which you really don't want to do. But also another massively important tip here is don't leave pitch calls to the work experience or to the junior in the office. Every PR agency does it, and I just don't understand it. They often haven't been involved in creating the press release or the story. Why leave it to chance that a journalist is interested, but then the person on the phone can't answer any extra questions that they may have? Make sure that the person pitching knows what they're talking about, knows the story, is senior enough to have the experience of dealing with journalists, and can offer any extra insight that they may require. And that's it. So don't call if you don't have to, but if you do, then hopefully those tips will put you in good stead. Take care.